I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy, 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 boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Greetings and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I'm your host, Manning's Man. And you would have known by now that I'm having a wonderful weekend. One, because I had church this morning, and that was a good thing. But also because the Manning School, no, you need to get it right. We're not Manning's High School. The name is really the Manning School, named after Thomas Manning. Right, the oldest school in the Western Hemisphere. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. 1738, the Manning School. I know the Woolmerians with John Woolman and all of that are going to come up and say some stuff, but it is the Manning School. We have advanced to the semifinals of the DaCosta Cup. First time since 2012 that we're achieving this, though we had some quarterfinals. But this is not about the Manning School. This is about an excellent and outstanding, a legend from one of our rivals in school sport. It is the original CC, not the one in Clarendon, but one in the heart of St. James. It is called Cornwall College. And we spoke with him before. He's Mr. Order of Distinction, Order of Jamaica, ICC umpire, FIFA referee, football coach, cricket coach, participated at boys championship and medal, had record at his school in the long jump. You name it, he has accomplished it, right? They used to call him Mr. B, but you know, in those places they don't say Mr. B, they say Stabby, which was really Mr. B, and then some others would call him Stabby. All right, so we're going to invite him to come and conclude the fascinating story he was sharing with us around 4 weeks ago. Mr. Steve Bucknor, welcome, sir.
Hello, good evening, sir. And evening to the listeners as well.
Wonderful. So good to have you. Yes, I heard that you saw the Manning School play. What are your thoughts? Let me just, just talk about that a little bit.
I believe that they were the best team in Western Jamaica because they knew where their goals were coming from. And as I said earlier on, that they play with two wide players, two attacking wide players, and they are the ones who have been creating all the problems for the defenders thus far.
Yeah.
Excepting to say that against Monroe, they were roughed up a little bit and they did not do enough to get goals. But this is where I think they are very strong. The wide players will definitely beat their wing backs, and cutting in, they are passing the ball and they are willing to pass the ball, which makes a big difference. And they have a striker who, if he gets it, he puts it away. So I believe that they can go, well, how far they can go, sorry, I don't know. But I am touting them to do maybe to go to the final. They should be able to go to the final. And from there, then I won't say, but they have a quite formidable team. And that is just my opinion.
Thank you, thank you. Well said, well said. I must say I agree with your opinion. As a man in this man, I have no choice but to agree with your opinion. And also because, of course, you know better than me, you're a coach of high esteem and thing. But I know that last time when we ended, but how is the family doing? I mean, all is well with the wife and kids.
Yeah, all is well. All is well. The children are very close to me right now. I have two daughters somewhere, one to my left, one to my right, another upstairs. But they are doing okay thus far. And the granddaughters, oh, they are also doing well because I know that at least two of them, they are listening.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I see. I don't know. I see an Ophelia as me. That person I don't know
Yes,
was on
granddaughter,
granddaughter. All right, she was on from
granddaughter.
6:31, waiting on you to get on. Right, there's a 7 o'clock. That's awesome. And then see Carlton Alexander Cloggy. He has also jumped on. Says blessing management. Good evening to the elder statesman, Sir Gabby Bucknor. Large
Yellow
upward.
flag.
Yeah, man. But how did you get the name? How did you get the name Gabby? And I mean, at what point did they give you that name? And how did you come by the name Gabby?
It was way back in 1969. I had a felt hat that I wore from St. Elizabeth down to Montego Bay. And on entering Boys Club, one of the youngsters saw me and said, "Watch it. No, Gabby hears that." But Gabby Hayes is one of the old Westerners who was acting with John Wayne. So he wore also a felt hat, and the front of mine was turned up just as his. So once the name Gabby Hayes came on to me, it rested there, and it is my adult nickname.
Okay, okay. Did you try to? Because sometimes when people are called those what they call nicknames, they try to, they try to get it to stop because they don't like it. Was that the case for you, or you just run with it
Oh
because
no, oh no, oh no. I tried to get my school nickname stopped, and I was roughed up. Someone hold a nickname, they just hold that boy. So I have a lot of nicknames, I have many, many names. I have a Santa Cruz nickname, I have a Leeds nickname, a Boys Club nickname, a Cornwall nickname. I also have a Kingston nickname, and this is the one that maybe you would love to hear. I am called Umfari, which
Umfari.
is shortened to umpire and referee. Umfari.
Oh, I didn't Umfari.
Yeah.
Yes, didn't know that. All right. So when we left the last time, you had completed, I mean, as much as possible your journey in terms of your days of playing and coaching. I know you shared, at Cornwall College, where you ended up there having left St. Elizabeth, went to Rossies, came back to Cornwall. And I think after you finished coaching at Cornwall, you'd have coached with the volley kickers and then Seba,
No,
I
no,
think.
no. It's Seba, not Violet Kickers. It was at Seba.
Right, at Seba, but you never won the finals. I think that was the final you
No,
said.
we
Yeah.
lost. We lost a very tough game. It was drawn at the stadium. When we thought we had scored a quite legitimate goal, it wasn't given. and the rest is history. But I thought we played very well at the stadium and should have gotten that goal. And once we got that goal, then it would have been extra time and penalties if it had gone that far. But the team was really charged up. They were on fire. And I can only say tough luck. That's tough luck.
Was that the hardest like loss in terms of your coaching career that you felt, or did you feel like, man, I really would have loved to have won the Premier League, or was it losing with Cornwall or at some other level?
Well, that is the second of the top losses. Way back in 1964, we lost to Monroe at Cornwall 1-0. And going to Monroe, we were leading them 1-0. And with moments to go, their striker broke. Our centre half chased him, kicked the ball above the halfway line, which meant that he would have kicked the ball more than 50 yards. Only for and he fell down outside of the D, rolled up to the penalty spot, and the referee walked from the halfway line to say penalty. It was not even close to a foul. And where he fell, he wasn't tackled. The defense half kicked the ball away. So this is one of the things that, up to today, I really
still remember it
because the team. Yes.
No, go ahead, man. You still remember it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that was one of the things. Once winning that game, we would have won the Costa Cup because we had Titchfield and Vertec to play after that. And we scored many goals against the two teams. It was something like 11-1 against the both teams. 6-1 and 5-0 or 5-1 and 6-0, something like that. And these games were played at Cornwall. In those days, there was not a one game final. It was the 4 zone winners playing in a round robin. So it was on points. So once beating Monroe at Monroe, we would have easily won the final.
Whoa.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. We would have won the cup, not the final. We would have won the cup if we had beat Monroe that afternoon.
And so that would have been your Da Costa Cup title as a player.
No, that would have been the second title.
Right, as a player.
I was in the 63 squad. Remember, I played 63 but I didn't play much because I was injured before the season. A preseason injury. I had 3 broken ribs. So I was also there for 63.
Okay. All right, so that and the loss in the finals of the Premier League were the 2 toughest losses you had.
The 2 toughest as far as football is concerned. Yes.
Okay. And you also were, I think I was speaking with, I think it may have been Mr. Halliman or Bradley Stewart, but you coach with the national junior teams as well.
Yes, in 1984, I was the assistant coach to Jackie Walters.
Right,
on the 19 national team. Yes.
What was that experience like for you?
It wasn't really good because the JFF wasn't definitely not organized, and it was a matter of traveling back and forth from Montego Bay to Kingston and so on. There was no competition, and it was a matter of going up and down on the weekends. The boys it was difficult for them because they had to leave school at some stage on a Friday to get into Kingston to train on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, return to their homes. And we had nothing to do, not really. There was no competition for the squad.
Okay, you remember some of the players you would have conditioned during that time who would have been a part of that under 19 setup?
Yes, I can remember Pot Cover McDonald from JC.
Yeah,
There was I know Vinton Williams from Cornwall was there. Yeah, I don't remember too many of the names.
So Vinton Williams will
But
travel up with you because he's
yeah, yeah. He was at Cornwall then.
okay, okay. But you can't remember many of the names. All right, that's good. That's
No,
good.
not too many.
All right.
Dominic was falling
Oh, from
at
Dintil.
centre half. Eh?
Dominic Spalding was at Dintil.
I don't remember if it was Dinty, but he was at centre half. He was one of the centre halves in that squad.
Okay. 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 All right. So you finished that. That is your only stint with any of the national teams because you never really got involved because now you were actually transitioning out of football in in terms of coaching into officiate because you never worked back with the national program after that.
No. Oh no.
Okay. And that is primarily because the GFF wasn't properly structured during your time and competitions were
Well,
not.
I can easily say that. I can easily say that.
Okay. All right. So at what point, sir, well, let me just put up this right because I want to make sure I get the grandkids. This is Sana saying hi, grandpa. So she's letting you know that she, and then Wendell Myrie says the football teacher, not the coach. All right. That's Wendell. He says still can't believe even though Juniors FC was always the best team in Division One at the time. That's Juniors FC was always the best team. You
Yes.
know, where was Juniors FC?
Well,
This is
an academy that I had way back in the 70s. Oh man, the 70s. Yes, it was in the 70s. It came from a Western St. James under 16 squad. And my top player, not then, but after that, Partiga Davis. That is where he came from.
really?
Yes, and
Oh,
we had a few national invitees out of that squad. We were Brown outside right. He went on to play for Wadada.
right. That's
Senate
never brought.
Sam, the goalkeeper. Yes, Never
Ah,
Brown.
yes.
And the Senate Sam, the goalkeeper, went on to the national squad as well.
Okay. And that team never won anything because here Wendell Murray says they still can't believe that even though Juniors FC was the best division team in our days, we never won the league.
Now,
How did that happen?
what, what happened after that? What happened was that we lost a few players. They migrated, and because
Okay.
of that, we lost our strength really. But just to remind whoever is listening, that these players started at the age of 14 and 15, and
Playing
we
in
were doing that well. Yes,
one.
started playing, and when we won the Division Two, players were 16 years old playing against adults. So we were never playing against our age group. Our age group just couldn't, there was no age group team to manage us then. So we were playing against adults all the way.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting because I think that is one of the things that is affecting our football now. We don't have enough youngsters playing against adults in proper competition because I think the emphasis is on schoolboy football, and most of them, once they start playing for some of the top schools, the schools don't allow them, for the most part, to participate in adult football. Do you think this could be one of the factors why the development has kind of slowed down in terms of the maturity of the players?
Well, I don't think it is so correct to say that the school does not allow them. From September to December, they belong to the school. It is after December that some of these guys would go ahead and play for clubs. But during the September to December period, Nobody's allowed to play outside of their school.
Okay,
Because many of
okay.
these guys they play otherwise. They play January on, they play otherwise. So there's not so much true to say that. But what I think that is hurting us is one, we don't have a national program. I can remember way back when Simoris came to Jamaica. And when he came, he was introduced as the national coach. And I asked the then president, is he going to be coaching the national team or is he going to be the coach of the nation, which means that whatever football we play in Jamaica will be influenced by him, and he will go around, have seminars so that we know what our national football should look like. It never happened. He came and he coached a national team, just the players. So there was nothing that, well, I suppose some of the clubs learned some of what he was doing. And what he was doing was really trying to replicate Brazil, doing what, playing exactly how Brazil played.
Yeah.
Now, today we are suffering badly because JFF again believes that if you want to win the World Cup, you're going to find a few players to play at the top level. Now, where's the base? Where's the base? And for those listeners, again, how many players did we have coming from England to play for Jamaica? Not many. But today, it is the outside players. So many of them, there's no national football, none whatsoever. How do the coach would want wingers? Do we have seminars? No. There are no seminars. So nothing comes down to the schools or to the clubs. Therefore, those who are coaching will do their thing, sometimes imitating what they see on television. So they see a lot of passes. They think it is best to play that type of football without something coming from the top inside of Jamaica. And this is what George Penna did in the mid 60s. He had seminars around the island. I can remember a seminar in Montego Bay. And all teams played the 4-2-4 formation the way Penna had the national team playing, which was the same as how Brazil played it. But what was important was Penna had seminars and he expressed to the coaches, this is what I want to see happen at club level or at school level. And the whole country was playing what Penna wanted. Therefore, if Penna wanted a right midfield, right link, he knew exactly what the right link should be doing. Therefore, going to games, it was not difficult to select players because he said that he wants his right link to be a little bit more defensive than the left link, to play a lot of coverage, to do a lot of tackling, ball winning in midfield. And we knew exactly where to play players, how to play the players, and what to do. That has not happened since because there has never been a national coach having seminars around the country to say, this is our national football, this is how we should be playing. We are trying to win the World Cup and don't understand that it's Jamaicans who are going to win the World Cup, not foreigners. And I won't take back that, not the foreigners, because when we went to France, count how many local boys played against the few who wanted to play for Jamaica, who left England to play for Jamaica, not Jamaica seeking players. It makes a big difference. Somebody like Shorty Malcolm would play his heart out for his country or club. These guys are going back to their contracts, so the heart is left over one side. I'm not playing that hard because I have to go back to my club and so on, and we can't find players. But see, if you remember one JFF president saying that we don't have any good players in Jamaica, they're not good. And that was an insult to what is happening. But then again, where are the programs that we had then? Where are the programs that we have now as far as national football is concerned? There's no program, none whatsoever. But yet we expect to play good football. If you would check other countries, each club has youngsters playing. They have their own academies. And they'll draw from the academies to play at the highest level.
Yeah.
Whenever these guys mature, do we have anything like this in Jamaica now? The nearest we had was some years ago, parish football, and this was played in the holiday time, which is utter rubbish. Why are we going to stop our competition in 3 weeks? We should be playing competition right through, well, not necessarily right through the year, but at least you have a 4 month period in a year where we are going to be playing club football, youngsters, the national age group football, youngsters, and possibly national senior football, because I played mixed cup for St. James and we won the mixed cup not once,
The
more
Meeks
than
Cup,
once.
the Meeks Cup is when you'd play against other parishes.
Yes,
Right.
mixed up against other parishes plus clubs in Kingston because the
Okay.
clubs were that strong. So we had clubs from Kingston versus parishes. It was not until the National League, Premier League started that it became club, club from parishes.
Okay.
So it's a matter of development that the parishes got strong enough that the clubs from the parish could represent the parish and not the parish playing against clubs from Kingston. You know,
Okay.
we are going backward, really backward, but nobody cares. Everybody wants to see us go to the World Cup, now understanding that we must form a base first. And there's no base, and once there's no base, it is not going to work. What is the formation of the national team? Who knows? How does the national coach want to see his centre half play? The goalkeeper, what is it that he wants to see on the football field? Does he want to see a lot of possession? Then the release pass. If the ball goes wide, what is the next move? No, but the German can tell you that everybody in Germany knows what German football is like. Everybody knows because it is something that is practiced, something that is almost ordered. This is how we want our football play. But I
But
am
yeah, but I mean, you're raising some very important point for the overall restructuring of how we have to look at football in Jamaica. And I like what you said that it has to be a national policy where whoever it is that is head of the national team must somehow find a way of at least introducing the general playing style, the system across the island, so that players in every parish, clubs in every parish know that if you want to be a part of the national setup, as a centre back, this is how you will play. As a right back, this is how, because this is the national system, right? And we find
exactly,
that, which is what you're saying, which means that all the coaches need to somehow be coached how to coach the national system, right?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
right. So that's a very
But
important
then you
point.
see, we want to win at the top, but there's no base. And since there's no base, then we just accept whatever is there.
Yeah. The other thing though is I think because I'm going to speak to a more recent situation to kind of deviate a little bit from what you said. I know you said that you're not going to take it back. Because let's look at the present team. The present team, no, you can see some of those issues you're talking about, that there is no base and no system of play that should have been established. And therefore, you're mixing and matching. And I don't think whether the players are born in Jamaica or overseas, the truth is that they're Jamaican because they have Jamaican citizenship. So they are
Yes,
Jamaican. And many of
yes,
them, and many of the players would have wanted to come in earlier. They were just not called. All right. And then somebody is going to say to you, no, but you know what is happening with this team now? See, some of the players, because of the changing of the coach, there are players who were born in Jamaica who just said, or it has been said that they are not going to play. They are unavailable for the Peru game. Right? They have made themselves unavailable. And people are going to look at that and say, well, they are not more committed, because if they have to represent the national team and they choose not to, then they're not committed from a person who is born in the United States, or a person born in England, or a person born in Sweden, or who is Jamaican and wants to play for the national team. So I want to make sure that you're not saying that if you're not born outside of Jamaica, if you're born outside of Jamaica, you're not as Jamaican as the man born in Jamaica, because I don't
No,
think
no,
that.
no. I'm not saying that. Definitely not saying that. What I'm saying is that those persons from the outside must come fit into our system. What is
Right.
our system? Nothing.
Exactly.
What
So
is our system? It is nothing.
yeah, I want people to understand that, because I don't want it to be misunderstood. What you are suggesting is that there needs to be a system. So when we pick up the person, or the Jamaican who is born in England, or the Jamaican who is born in China, and he comes here, there's a system for him to fit into, and he knows how to play
Exactly.
that system. You can't have
Exactly.
a
That's
system.
my point.
Right. So that is the point. I want the people to get that. So it's not that you
That is
don't,
my point.
because I know how these spaces are. Mr. Bucknor, as soon as I say anything like that, people say, well, you see it, my son born in England and him don't want them play for Jamaica. That's not the case.
Oh, no, no. I am not saying that.
Right.
I am not saying that. I am saying that when he comes, there's a system and he fits into the system. Can't fit into the system, sorry, son.
Yeah.
That is what we are to be doing.
Yeah. The other question I want to ask you though, who is responsible for, because you have been around the world, you have seen this outside of Jamaica, you have enough experience, right? You have been involved in the system. Who is responsible for establishing this system across? Is it the federation? Is it a technical director? Or is it the head coach? Or there should be a committee that is responsible, and then they find a coach to fit who can play that system? Who should be the primary person or persons responsible for establishing this system from the grassroots coming up to the national team in all parishes and in all places where football is played in Jamaica?
It has to be a committee through the technical director. In other words, there's a committee, and this is what we are to be doing. So the technical director will now formulate programs to say, this is how Jamaican football should be played. I will tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. What is the best thing outside of Bob Marley? What are we known for in the world?
Track and field, I would say.
Sprinting.
Yes, sprinting. Predominantly, yeah.
Does our football show that we have people who can sprint?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say right now. I mean, I can't say I've even seen a very speedy player in Jamaica team. I think the last one were players like Omar Daly, Jermaine Johnson, Ricardo Fuller, those and Luton Shelton. Those guys are very quick on the Walter Boyd, but we don't see that in this team right now. I mean, somebody could tell me in the comment section, but I don't. Leon Bailey, they would say like Leon Bailey is a very speedy player.
Now, supposing Steve Bucknor becomes a coach tomorrow, and you will say Bolt playing at left striker and Asafa Pearl playing right striker, and I can get them to dribble, control, dribble, and shoot. You think any defense will come to the halfway line?
No, because they'd be afraid of them on the counter.
So why do we not do the things that we do best? Normally, why we don't play that type of football? Why are we trying to play the football that the rest of the world is playing? When on the track, we are going to be running faster than the whole world, but on the football field, you don't see it. Why not?
Yeah, that is where the establishing of the system is important. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That fundamentally there needs to be an established system that at least give our players who have pace the opportunity to utilize that pace to our advantage. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
Where does that start? Because that is the issue. We know this long time, We have known this for a very long time. You said it. That's when Simois came, you asked that question. And that's over 23 years. And we are right there again.
you see, whatever is good for us, I don't know if we know what is good for us. The world can't stop us from running, can't stop us from sprinting. Yet on the football field, the world say, hold on, there is some paper tigers we have out there, them can't run. You tell me who will challenge Usain Bolt from the halfway line to the 18-yard box. And he can play football, I'm telling you that. He can play. But he's not an established player. We don't need that type of a person on the field. Why we don't need him on the field? The world can't run like us. The world cannot run like us. Unless he uses injection needle. The world can't run like us. And we can't show what we are good at on the football field. Why not?
Yeah.
You see, I am going to say this to you, sir. Why should we try to be playing like Brazil? Why should we try to be playing like the European countries? Why should we try to be doing what they are doing? What is wrong with Jamaica? Why can't we play Jamaican football? Well, you see, it is something that is going to be shut down. No man must play like. Why we have to play like Brazil? When we came 1, 2, 3, 200 meters, where were the athletes coached from? Jamaica.
Jamaica, right. Yeah.
Did our coaches go out to train them over so and bring them back now? Which means that we have the coaches who can manage in certain areas. 1, 2, 2 in the 100 meters for ladies. 1, 2, 3 recently for the ladies. Where the coach come from? Are the coaches local? So we can produce these things locally. But for football, we must play like how France play or Germany play or Brazil play because it is something pleasing to the eyes. Now, if I want to win and I am leading a 1-0, you can break down anything you want to break down. You're not coming anywhere near my goal because one can win. So why must I play the football that is pleasing to the eyes and I am leading you? If I'm leading you, I am sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to park the bus. I'm going to park everything in front of my goal because I need a 1-0 result. And regardless of what the criticisms are, I don't care. At the end of it, and I win, you can't tell me, coach, you're fired, coach. I don't want you. Fire me. But if I get the result, you have forgot about your business because that is what I'm here for. But we don't seem to understand that we can do things. When we were good at cricket, the Caribbean players, were they not Caribbean born players who did very well? Yes, and we played it our way and we destroyed the opposition using our method. Not anybody else's method, our method. But we don't seem to like ourselves enough.
Yeah. But I mean, and I totally agree with your point, But I mean, in modern football, for example, like say we had 3 very speedy players playing up front, and a team decides, like, okay, like somebody just said, let's sit deep to nullify their speed. Right? How are they going to be? Yes. Right. Let's sit deep.
Our midfield is now going to get into the game, sir. Our midfield will always make passes and push the team maybe up to 40 yards, 35 yards before releasing the ball. If they sit deep, then we occupy that space that they give us inside of their half of the field.
Yeah.
Sir, it is brain against brain, you know. It's brain against brain. If you stay on your goal line, they will put all the keeper, we have to come up field. So we want to box you in and keep you in. It's brain against brain. And I'm going to say to you, the German taught me one lesson. 11 against 11, and Mannings is better than Cornwall. 10 against 10, Cornwall can beat Mannings. I playing a 10 against 10, you know. I taking out your one with my one. 12 can go one side. 10 against 10, I'm going to beat you. What is wrong with that?
I understand that, but I mean, like I said, that like I mean, I don't know. Like at the end of the day, speed is good, and I understand the principle. The principle is we are fast people, so let's find a system that allows our quality footballers, because speed alone is not good enough. As good as
I agree. I agree.
fast as Bolt is in modern football, I don't think he would probably make it, because he's not as talented a football as he is an athlete. But you will find, like, we have a Leon Bailey. And Leon Bailey is a very speedy player. We have to ask ourselves, are we using the speed of Leon Bailey enough in the system? Or is it true what you're saying, that we have created a system that instead of using up his speed, we have nullified his speed to the detriment of the team. So that is where, I think all of us agree that when you have quality players that have speed, you have to create a system that allows those players to use their speed to maximize the results of the game. Total agreement. And like I said, there has to be an overall systematic change. And so my question then is, why hasn't this, a great mind like yours, why hasn't this happened in Montego Bay?
I will give it. I will give the answer.
Yes.
We are not prepared to start at the base. We are not prepared to start at the base. It is the base that is lacking. That is where you need to start it. And if I would tell you that my past St. James under 15 player is a sprinter, and we went to Kingston, and you know how we beat them? One through pass and one person running away from the whole field. You know what happened after that? They had to start. They had to stay back because they couldn't give us a 40-yard run and goal. So they played a bit deeper. We were happy for that. So the defense was not coming up anymore. We were leading 1-0. So it is now your business. Do you want to get a goal? Push up. And if there's a second opportunity, we may go 2 up. But we're going to kill you with speed because you can't match him in his lane. There's no tackle. The ball is out there, him run around you. As simple as that. But that is not what we want. We enjoy what is on television. Yes, we enjoy what is on television. But what is going to give us the result, we don't enjoy that for the simple reason it is not pleasing to the eyes. Now, why is it my business if you don't like what I'm doing and I can get you the result that you want?
Okay. So I see where the problem is. You, like, from your perspective, the problem is we don't we want result, but we want it a particular way, which is
Exactly.
give us the result looking like what is on television, basically.
That is what we're trying. That is what
And
we're trying.
what you're saying, that results can come without looking like what is on television.
I am going to make you my assistant coach, sir.
I agree. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. And I mean, I see some comments coming in. Let me just read this one. Says, I think it should be, with all due respect, Mr. Bucknor, football and track and field are two different sports. One requires teamwork, one is individual. We need expertise to develop our football. No one in Jamaica is equipped to do it. All right. And then, so let me give you all of these and then you can respond to them one by one. Jamaica is good at sprinting because it is simplistic individual sports. Because this is one of the things I know that when it comes to teamwork in Jamaica, it don't seem like the dream works, right? But if it is individual stuff, and then Richard Stewart says football. I suspect what he's saying is that football not only require foot speed but head speed, meaning speed of thought. All right. And then Cranky says you have to find out the differentiating attribute slash strength and use it to your advantage, which is what you're basically saying. Find out all your strengths and use those strengths to create your playing style. All right. You want to comment on those and then we can move on?
Yes, sir. I will comment on those. Way back in the 60s, and I don't know if he's still on radio, Reverend Peter Morgan playing at outside right for JC. Every ball up the right wing, Reverend Morgan was on it inside of your box. He was a sprinter, but he could play football. He was taught how to play football from JC. Bally Reed from KC would stay on the halfway line. On your mark, get set, go.
What's his name?
In your face. Bally Reed.
This is in the 60s.
From KC. Bally Reed might have been in the 70s. Billy Griffiths.
Bally Reed.
Bally Reed. Yeah, that's his name. I can't remember.
Okay.
Billy Griffiths from Cornwall College. Played for Jamaica at the age of 17. And Billy was a sprinter. And the Kingston people said they don't like to defend against him because him kick and run. What does that mean, sir? You can't catch him. They'd rather you play the ball and bounce it, but they don't want to chase him. And Billy played for Jamaica at the age of 17 while going to Cornwall. Who could catch Ali McNabb running at goal? Ali 100 yards at champs. So we have footballers who could have run. So who said we can't develop footballers who can run? Who said we cannot develop the sprinters into footballers? We can. We can. But the coaches don't have enough time. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about other things.
I'm going to give you a good example. Lenny Hyde has a son who played for KC. I think his name is Jail Hyde, who did the hurdles.
Yes.
And he was a champion at champs of fast time.
Same. Yeah.
Hyde was at Woolmers. He scored a lot of goals in Manning Cup. A lot of people felt like he should have taken on football because he was so fast. As a winger, it gave people a hard time. And so it's players like those who have footballing ability and have speed that we need to find a way of creating a system that allows that ability to be maximized.
That is what it means, sir. And that is what I am talking about. But there are those who enjoy seeing other things. This is what I love. If you can't run, you can't beat me. We tell you that. If you cannot run, you cannot beat me because I am coming down there and I'm coming down there very fast. And I go and find every school that I coach, I go sports day to see the sprinters. The mayor of Lucy, we call him Worm Samuels.
That's
Worm.
Yeah.
Worm was winning 100 meters at Russie's sports day. Who could have catch him on the football field? Every time I see a true pass, him and the keeper alone, every time. Therefore, persons must understand we need what we do best. But there are those, I'm saying it again, there are those who believe that we must knock it around. It is pleasing to the eyes to knock it around. Yes, pleasing to the eyes, knock it around. Yeah, man, nice pass. But how close to the goal are we? What is the result of making numerous passes because others are doing it? Why must we do what others are doing?
Yeah. Whoa, some people are agreeing with you, in terms of the sprinting. So let me give you Robert Sanchez says that Bally Reid played for KC between 74 and 75. Then Richard Stewart says club style of play. G-Gent pressing, in my opinion, would fit Jamaica's perfectly. And then this is a farmer, Rossi's Casey man says, I remember him getting Rossi's its first victory against Cornwall College in Lucy. He had his captain Mark S90, who was prolific striker. Yeah, even was mark even was marking him at halftime. And
I was a coach at Rossi's then, sir. I was a coach at Rossi's.
that's what he said.
The captain was Bargy Reid, I think.
Yeah, Madrid. And
You
then
see, what is practical is what we don't enjoy. We don't like what is practical. We like what is pleasing, but not what is practical, not what is best for the game. As simple as that.
Wendell Mary says Adrian Spence was a track star before a football.
Oh, a lot of people, the people from Edwin Allen are going to remember him. He ran away from them at Monroe up the right side and played a nice weighted pass across the 6-yard box, and Bonnie came in and finished. Why? It's a sprinter playing striker. So, speed hurt.
And then Tony Keys and Lennox Miller were sprinters for KC and also ballers. That's from Clennon Clark. Yeah.
Well, now that others are listening, so you understand what I'm saying. What we are gifted at, because Keys up the right wing. Who could have catch Keys up the right wing? Nobody. But what is pleasing, again, pleasing to the eye, a lot of us enjoy seeing that. Where is the best place we can get a result? Where is the best place we can get a result in the team? And that is what we need to understand. And coaches, we need good seminars so that the coaches will understand that if you can play 9v9 and you're better than them 9v9, you play 9v9. Take out their two players who are maybe playmakers or those who score the goal. If you take them out, you can win your game. And I will tell you, if I'm playing against Messi, I'm going to have 3-man markers. 3-man markers to Messi. The first one will get a yellow card. I'm going to take him out same time. And the second one, he's going to rough up Messi. We'll try to play fair, we'll rough him up. He may get another yellow card. Messi will be finished by that time.
Really? But modern football don't allow you to do those things to player like Messi, because officiating has changed a whole lot in comparison
Sir,
to your
I just said it now. I just said the first one is going to get a yellow card. And I'm going to take him out immediately. The second one may get another yellow card. I'm going to take him out immediately. And Messi will be no more for the rest of the game.
But a person may say, well, that is the spirit of the game for you to send a player out there to just for the purpose of getting Messi out of the game. Somebody going to look at you and say, that's not in the spirit of the sport.
Sir, like, I am talking about using football methods. Football methods to get him out, not to kick him down, You play him hard, you stay close by him. There's no breathing space. He's not going to like that. He loves space. If he can't get space, he can't play. And then naturally there's going to be the occasional tackle. That is what I'm talking about. But people don't like that. They say, no, man. Boy, Messi, ball off he said that. A 3 markers going to be a Messi. One, first yellow card, second yellow card, and the third one, just pushing one side. But people won't like that. But at the end of the day, Jamaica win a game, boy. I don't like how Gabby do it because, boy, I want to say Messi do what? I tell you something, sir. Johnny Barnes came down to Montego Bay to play against St. James. Johnny Barnes kicked one ball for goal. You know what kind of ball? One free kick.
Yes.
I had a footballer marking Johnny Barnes so tight that people cuss me. Boy, the national come down. And the national boy, we don't know if a man can play because Gabby have a man to mark him. And we don't see him do nothing. Why do I want him to do anything on the football field? Now I get cussed, boy, I man want to say Johnny Barnes, but boy, Gabby not giving no chance. Why? So what is wrong with my brain? If we play 10 against 10, JDF can't beat us. And that is what we do. One marker took Johnny Barnes out of the game. Not fouling him, Just take him out of the game. Mark him, put him there. And at the end of the day, we won the game.
Yeah, what I'm saying, is that when you look at modern day football, right? So say look, let's look at Jamaica playing against so we're playing against Mexico on the 27th. Mexico have Raul Jimenez. He plays for Wolves in the Premier League. So he's their top player, right? And we decide, all right, you go and mark him. What Raul Jimenez is going to do is take you out because remember now, it's not like he is Mexico's one player. They have several players that can hurt you. He may be the primary one. So when he pulls you out of the game, it creates space for other players. So how do you apply your strategy, even with a Messi, when all of these other opportunities will open up for other players? Because that's how modern day football don't really allow you to take out any one man out of the game and nullify a team completely unless you only have one good player. When you have 3 and 4 players, they just interchange. A man can say, okay, you marking me and you are the central midfielder. Let me go and play as a outside a wing back. Let me play a wing back. And you can't go and mark him there because you're completely out of position. So how do you apply that in modern football when there's so much interchanging of positions?
I will give you a hint.
Yeah.
We played against Clarendon College, was it 1978? And we had 6 players running with Clarendon College, 6 players. 3 midfielders and 3 strikers, 3 forwards. We had persons running with them. At the end of the day, Chunk said, boy, Bucknor, my team never played today, They scored a penalty against us. And they were not kicking at goal because nobody had any opportunity to go at goal. So we have 3 and 3, 6 take out 6 of theirs, leave 5 against 5. But the 5 against 5, we have a midfielder who was playing sweeper in midfield. And we had a central defender who was playing sweeper behind the back line. Therefore, the sweepers know that anybody run loose, it is your player. If he needs a tackle or to mark him or to stay close by, that is what you have to do. So there's no modern day football, sir. Nothing but no modern day football, not modern. Who are the goal scorers? Take the goal scorers out of the game. Who are the persons who are going to make that type of pass that will allow your striker to be 10 yards from goal? You make certain that him not get no ball. Him not get no ball to make them passes there.
Yeah, I hear you, but are you still interested in coaching? Because I'd love to see you apply that in football in Jamaica today and see how effective, because that's the only proof you're gonna have, if that can really work in the present construct of football now, how football is played. It will be so interesting to see you being a technical director over one of these high schools or one of these clubs. Just be a technical director and the coach is instructed by you to apply that to see how it would look in like working out, given how football is right now. And maybe it's because my own mind is clouded by what I see on television, right? But it's what we look at. Maybe that is it.
I was a coach just before going to United States, I coach at Monroe, the junior program. Yes, okay. I coached the junior program, and we won Galloway Cup the very first time. And we won against Cornwall and against some of the persons who I coached in St. James at primary school and for St. James under 14. We played against some of those boys. So we knew a lot about them, those who went to Cornwall. And the one person who kicked the ball very hard, he wasn't allowed to kick any shot at goal. He was not allowed to kick any shot at goal. We never mark him. But once he went close to the ball, it was the instruction. His back must remain to our goal. Don't let him see anything in our box. And if he wants to see, let him go to the halfway line and get him binoculars and look to see our penalty box. On the edge of the box, he must not see us. His back must be to our goal. But then again, what is coaching? People, what do coaches do? What do coaches do? Do they try to win games or do they try to foster certain formations, certain patterns? Because well, I like this, so I want my team play this. I will tell you what, if I start coaching in St. James again, the football is going to get better because everybody wants to beat my team.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. No, that's a fact. It is a known fact. It doesn't matter whatever players, everybody want to beat my team. And for that reason, the standard of football goes up.
I always want to beat you.
That is the whole point. That is the whole point.
Yeah. But there was some sketchy officiating when Manny's came to play Galloway Cup against certain teams, but I will not call any name. Go up to some of the schools and we up in the hills. I understand me. I think we're in the semifinals and we lost. We have been Monroe that season. Yeah, but let me take a couple more comments. This is Garnet Denton. I think this is Codfish. The man is big up himself and keep up the good work. It's a pleasure listening to a living legend, Mr. Bucknor. Enough love and respect. Big up yourself. Farm heights to the world, he says. Right? And, Wendell Murray says, if you win the football first, the attacker have no game. Michael Woodburn said, old school. Robert Sanchez says, well, just know there's a reason why no one use man marking anymore, because that has been destroyed. It is an ancient tactic. The coaches of modern football kill that. And then Devon Porter says, man, I understand where Gabby is coming from. You have segment of the football called tracking and marking. And if you do that effectively, you can nullify any player. Does not matter who they are. Right? And then Michael Woodman said, good old man marker. Go line and square the ball into the box. Yeah, so those are some of the comments. Any of them you want to respond to, or you want us to?
Of course, I want to comment. I want to make a comment to say that man marking is foolishness. That is as far from the truth as whatever.
Yeah.
When Jamaica played recently, how often you saw the man on the back post getting a ball and playing across, and him is free, because we have nobody close enough to him to prevent him from making the cross. How often you see a cross come into the box? We outnumber the opponents, but they get the ball. Why?
They're playing zonal. Maybe they're doing zonal marking instead of man marking. Maybe that's the system. I don't know.
Okay. Let it be. If we play zonal marking, and I am going to quote the German, we play zonal marking upfield. When the opponent gets inside your penalty box, you must give an account for the person you are going to be attracted to. The person you're going to be marking, you must give an account for that person. And in training, I shout out, Babylou, him say, I have player A coach. I shout, Vinton, but I have player 2 in a coach. Chris, but I have Brigadier, So once you're inside the box, you must give an account. This is what our defense, we don't do that.
Well,
we don't know where the opponent is.
Yeah, that is true. That is a very good point. That even if you're zonal marking, you have to give account to the man you're supposed to mark. Because if the zone breaks, you must be able to pick up your player. So that's important in team defending or individual defending. Even when they're using the zonal system, that's what you have to do. But very, I mean, I think you're sharing some very important things. A lot of times, this is the thing, how do we merge what used to work back in the day with what is happening now in terms of how football is being played, and I think that is the question. That is why, like I said, I'd love to see how that kind of works in the modern football context. I know you said there's no modern football, but I'd really love to see how it, how both things collide to produce results. The system where you have.
Sir, can I say to you that the Hungarians in 1953 that beat up England, they were playing short passing football, They were playing 5 yard and 10 yard and 6 yard passes, And nobody knew what they were doing. 1953. How many of the listeners' parents were born that time? So short passing football is not new. Nothing new. St. George's in the early 60s, the late 50s. They were playing short passing football, and we were criticizing, saying that St. George's College under Arthur Mackenzie was a coach. Anybody from Kingston know Arthur Mackenzie? He was a coach. And they were playing short passing football, and we were criticizing, saying the ball is going to take a long time to transition from 118 to the next 18. But you know what they had? Ball possession. With ball possession, they had players coming with the ball. So there were more players near to the ball going forward. And they would have beat up a lot of teams with a short passing football. And this was from in the late 1950s, early 1960s. So what is modern about short passing football? It was there already. No, the negative part of the football was not there. Where you want to keep the ball in your penalty box and you want to make 6 passes in your penalty box. Now, Mr. Moderator, if the coaches are listening, I'm going to tell them that that is garbage. Why do you want to make 6 passes in your penalty box? What are you going to achieve making 5 and 6 passes in your own penalty box? What can you achieve?
They will say to you, well, we are trying to mess up the opponent's shape, pull them out of position, draw them, and then play over them, play long. That's what they would say. So as a coach, let me answer for some of the coaches. Mr. Bucknor.
No, hold on there. I want to counter that before you answer.
Okay, go ahead.
If I am playing against a team that decide that they are going to make a lot of passes in their box, I am not going for the ball. I stay at the halfway line and say, you stay down there, so make 1,000 passes. I am not going for the ball. You can't draw me.
Okay, I see what I mean. So if they keep it in the box, you just stay half line.
Just leave them alone. Unless I am down. If I am down, then I have to hunt a ball. If I'm not down, why I'm going to tick off all the passes, 105, 106, 1,000, 2,000. And where are you going to go with all them passes there? And this is the modern football, don't it?
Yeah. All right. Let's get some more. Wayne, you're saying that when the pandemic gives us the opportunity, I'd love Steve organize a Western versus Eastern match, but at least a month of preparation. And then management, the team I coach, anything in the box we challenge, even if we can win the ball, but we don't give anyone free headers, and we have to give account of all persons. I think that should be, that should be. All right. So it's very interesting, right? So you're saying that your setup, if a team is playing the ball in the box, you don't need to do that. And short passing is not new. From 1953, that was there with I think you said the Hungary team when they defeated England, they were playing short passes. St. George's
Puskas was the main person, Puskas.
Right. And then Germany, St. George's was doing it in the late 50s, early 60s. And many people kind of laughing at them. Didn't know that. So, we learn all of these learn all of these things. But again, let me come back to this. Are there plans you have to look at some of the teams or schools you used to work with back in your days in St. James, which is your heart and soul, and probably sit down with some of these coaches and share some of your knowledge with them, or that is something that you actually do? Probably go back to the Russies and share some knowledge with the coach there, or Monroe. Also annex elder statement is there. Mr. Jackie Walters is at Monroe right now. But do you have plans of imparting, some of this knowledge to your parish, to the people in St. James, the coaches in St. James, so they can learn some of these things and begin to create systems for their youth team all the way up to their senior teams, at least in the parish?
I would not mind doing that, I don't mind doing that. But I am very unorthodox as far as coaching is concerned. I am going to try to win a game, not by any means. I'm going to try to win a game by fair means. But I am going to try to prevent you from doing what you enjoy doing and what you do best. It is not going to be a spectacle, but I am going to do that to make certain that if you have a sprinter playing outside right, I say, coach, track and field coach, you give me a man to mark the man there because me can't make him run leave any of my slow players. Or if he's that quick, then I can go halfway line, I stay closer to my goal so he can't get a run. But you see, that is what we're not thinking of. We're not thinking about how to defend, because that is what is lacking in this country. Lacking in this country. You see players playing the ball freely inside the box. Why are they playing the ball freely inside the box? Because nobody gives an account for anybody, the opponent in the box. And for those who talk about man marking, when a striker is in the box, he must be man marked. How else can you prevent him from getting the ball if you don't man mark him? It's not halfway line, your man marking. Your man marking in the box, which simply means that every defender must account for an attacker in the box. Anywhere he goes, you go with him for the simple reason you want to, if I say immobilize, maybe that is not the best word, but I want to make certain that he does not get a ball with any amount of freedom. He must be under pressure every time. And for those who believe that football is modern, I'm going to say to you, give me 22 boys. 22, just give me 22 boys and I can make a team for you. Give me 6 weeks, I can make a team for you in 6 weeks. I can do it. I believe I can do it. Give me any 22. Even boys with 2 left foot, 2 right foot, people who walk on their hands. Just give me 22 and I can make a team for you. But the so-called modern coach, he goes down there and he looks at outside right from Timbuktu. Boy, I forget the boy there. Him go round Zion go get a outside left. Him go down and Negril go get a striker. That is his team, So his work is halfway done because he has people who can play. I don't want people who can play. I want people who can teach to play. So the modern coach that some persons want to see happen is a lot of what is happening in Kingston. Yes? I was told some years ago that a team from Trelawney went to Kingston, a school team, to do a 2 weeks camp. And they returned to Trelawney minus their top striker. He was gobbled up in Kingston by one of them schools. Because those persons, there's no appetite to work. They want something on a platter. And I don't believe that. And this is what is hurting our football. We don't have persons. And I don't care who don't like it, We don't have good coaches. We don't have people who coach. We have people who assemble players. And if you assemble players, you don't know the weakness of the player. You don't know the strength of the player. You don't know a thing about the player. You only assemble them. You put them here and put them there and put them in all different positions. And you say, yeah, man, boy, I have a good team. And when your team is losing, you look up in the heavens and start praying and asking, what must I do to get back in the game?
Yeah.
And
But I
that is,
mean,
and I don't think,
to just to be fair and
yes,
balanced, I mean, right now, I mean, maybe it started out with Kingston schools, but right now, people say to you, the first school who started doing that was Veer.
no, I'm not saying, no, I know that long time, I know that long time.
Just to be fair to the
I want-
Kingstonian, they can say that Veer was bringing everybody from Kingston, and Clarendon College was bringing everybody from Kingston down there.
No,
So
that
it
is
was,
true. That is true.
you could
And
say it's
States did a bit of that. States
and
did a
step.
bit of that as well.
There you
That
go.
is so. But what I'm saying today is that is what you have happening. And I can remember hearing a commentator saying the school down by Sabina Park, that the player who's going off the field, he is coming from that school down by Sabina Park, and the player who's going on is coming from the same school. So you have a substitution, and one going off come from school downtown, the other one coming on come from the school downtown. Why? Because we're damn lazy. We are very, very lazy. And not only lazy, we lack the ability. We lack the ability to coach. I mean, who want to take me on with that can take me on with that. We lack the ability to coach. We can't coach. We assemble players. Then we say we are good coaches. And every time we get a national team, we fail with the national team because we get a fresh set of boys. Now we have to coach them to play for the national team, and we can't coach them because we don't have the ability to coach them. And who want to challenge me with that can always challenge me with that. People leave from one school to another school and they take their players from school X to school Y with them. Work with them own players. Now that is good coaching.
So you say it is good coaching to take your players with you? Are you being
No,
sarcastic?
I'm asking the question. I'm asking the
Yeah.
question because I know selling some person don't like it, but I don't care who don't like it. If I'm telling the truth, you tell me you don't like the truth that I'm saying to you. People walk from one school to another school with their own players. Walk with them.
No,
Why?
no man, that happens, But wouldn't people also say, listen, when you're at Rossi's, for example, you would have got the
Yes?
player from Sav, from Technic, from for secondary, from Sav secondary, from all of those schools. So there has always been this moving of players into the high schools. Maybe that time, you understand me? Maybe those schools were not playing the Costa Cup back in those days. So at grade 9, some of them would move to what you call the traditional high school, right? So Rossi's would get a lot of those players. Maybe I don't know if Cornwall
Yeah.
would get the St. James senior school guys. You understand me? All of those schools would send
Yeah.
players into the Cornwall College, send players into the guys who were at Anchovy. It was Anchovy Secondary. They used to go into either Cornwall or Herbert Morrison. So there's always been movements of players in schoolboy football. But I do understand though that a lot of people are, like I said, not developing the players. They are just assembling teams, which is bad for the football because players are not being properly coached over a 6 or 5 year period. Which is one of the things I noticed with Cornwall. Like, if you look at Cornwall or Manly for the most part, some of these schools, they have the players from first form all the way up to probably upper six. And they may bring in one or two at sixth form or stuff like that. But for the most part, some of these schools probably have the players from first form, which will aid in the players' development. And
Yes.
that may hinder their opportunity. That probably is what has hindered Manning's opportunity of winning any competition because they were being very stick to itive to using players in the school instead of other players who could have added to those players in the school. So they never won anything. So the coach is going to say to you, Mr. Bucknor, when the school hire me and say they want to win the Costa Cup, and the players at the school are not good enough, and they give me 2 years to win the Costa Cup, you don't want me to go and find some players who can play now, because if I don't win, the school is going to fire me. And who is going to give me money to take care of my family at that time? Because this is my job.
I understand your point, sir. I understand your point. But the point that I was making was not that point. I'm saying that coaches work with their players. A coach at States and he goes to Manchester High. He works with players from States, take them to Manchester High. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
Because people are going to come into your school. People want to come to your school. People definitely want to come to your school. And I don't have too much to say against that.
Okay.
Just to say that people should not be working with their group of players from school to school. That's the point I'm making. Because I can all easily understand that youngsters from this school wants to play or he wants a better education and he can mix with the sport. And he goes. I don't say anything wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when I am going to work with this player by my side, and when I go to the next school, him is there. And if I stay for a year and I don't like it, and I go to a third school, he's there with me. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. I like this question that Tara Thompson, this person Tara Thompson raised, because here's the next issue. Do you know that it's almost part of the system as well, is that if you don't go to certain schools, it's almost like you don't get seen. It like so listen, I'm not trying to be hard on anybody's school. This is just an example. For example, the play at Green Island, the star play at Green Island may say, you know what, I need to leave Green Island and go to a Rossies or a Cornwall or a Mannings or a Frome, as an example. The player at Spot Valley may feel like, boy, I need to go to one of the other school because the player at not Gallimore. He's saying that, boy, I might as well I try go to Manchester or try go to Homewood because if I stay at not Gallimore, which national coach at the under 17 level going pick a player from about not Gallimore? Go and pick a player from, yeah, you understand me? Certain schools. So sometimes all of those things are in it. You know, the players feel like if I play for certain teams, nobody is going to see me. The opportunities are limited, and sometimes that is what causes you know the movement of players. But I do agree with you that the coaches need to spend more time coaching than to than just trying to you know um just recruit. But I think somebody said it earlier that they are not coaches, they are recruits. Our recruiters are scouts because that's what they're doing. They're scouting players.
They're
They're not
hurting
coaching.
they're hurting national football, They're hurting our football. Hurting the football. Because sometimes the players go in with bad habits. And because you don't have enough time to work with the players, the bad habit perpetuates, it continues, it just keep going, and the bad habit come out maybe in your final, in the last game, in the semi-final. There are certain things the player can't do. And because the player can't do it, and you didn't know anything about the player, it continued. I will give you a good example.
Yeah.
Way back in 1984, we had to play off with Mannings to come second in the zone with Russies. And Mannings had a right back, them call him Russian. Rough, rough fellow. And when I look at my team, I had a fellow called Vassel. He was a sprinter. Play football, was a sprinter, but he played on the right side of the field. And I said, Bongo, we have some work for do. And this was the Saturday, 10 o'clock sun. The work on the left foot. Him say, but coach, says only I walk on my left foot, I not kick with it, I said, that's all right, I don't have a problem. I had him footside and make some footside passes, 6 yards. Let him go up the wing and kick it on the ground. It's a matter of getting him. Is the brain now working on?
Yes.
The brain is now saying left foot. And in 2 hours, him say, coach, say my right foot now have no use. I say, mean, him say, say a pure left foot may use. We beat Mannings 2-0 up by States, The 2 goals came from the left side of the field. Because before halftime, Russian tired. But the man him say, out, Russian say, man, wait for me. So me tired, man. Because me transform this player into a left-footed player. Took 2 hours Saturday, and Manning's pay for that. Manning's pay for it because every ball, me say, just aim up the wing. I'm going to go take off, and him take off, and him take off every time. Now, who is going to defend him? Who
Manning's
going to
part.
defend him?
Me need for me to Russian and understand. I need to find out from Russian what a team make go on because that's not supposed to happen. So
No, but you see,
have you got a
it's
Russian
a tactical play. It's a tactical because nobody expected that. So me use my best runner against your worst defender as far as speed. And by halftime, he was out of the game. Out of the game by halftime. And the argument finished. So I have to think, how can I win this game? What is it that where is your weakness? Yeah, what is your weakness? And if I can play against your weakness, I will have a chance. But the so-called modern football is knock it around, knock it around. So where's the weakness in the next team? When are we going to see, or do we know the weakness in the next team? We don't know it. No. Sometimes I have to kick all 6 balls up the wing, so that the wing back can run. And after him run 6 times, him get tired. So I say, oi, freshman, come on, kill a man. So I have a freshman coming in against a tired man, and it is all over.
Like some people will say, well, I may not have the fastest player, but I move the ball very fast because that's the next thing. So let me give this. Sanchez says some schools also have a some schools also have a better network for overseas scholarship, and so the players knows that, so they move to schools. And then Carlton Alexander says speed is still very effective in modern football. Salah and Mane at Liverpool, Sterling at Man City, Neymar at PSG, Coman and Sane at Bayern Munich, and it goes on and on and on. So there's a place. Management, I was at Stats and playing Sunlight Cup cricket, and because I did not go to States when a certain principal and Jamaica youth manager wanted me to, therefore I was not called to the the Jamaica team. All right, Mr. Porter, you see all those things. Well, Sir Butler, how you having such a wealth of football knowledge ended up? I mean, I can understand officiating football. Ended up being all ICC umpire. What? How did you leave football and get all the way to ICC umpire? One of the most
No, sir.
renowned
No,
umpires.
sir. I did not leave football. I didn't leave football totally. But once umpiring came about, bigger opportunities, better opportunities. So I was doing more umpiring than coaching because even then, did you know that I spent almost 2 seasons up by Cedric Titus in Chilani? And for them very first 2 years that I was there, the very first year, we didn't lose a game in the zone, even though you had Ocherius, big team, and Marcus Gabby, big team, and they couldn't beat us. They couldn't beat the little country boy them from inner Clarkstown because nobody knew about us. And we worked very hard, very hard, very hard. We came out of the zone, and, well, at least we came out of the zone.
Yeah.
So I had to spend some time coaching, then go to cricket, then come back to coaching. And that was difficult to do because the cricket took a lot of time. And difficult is a start and stop thing. And difficult to start, stop, and restart because it means that if you're out for 3 weeks, it is the assistant coach who has to take the program forward, who has to do the work. But once you establish whatever is needed, it is not difficult.
How
It is
difficult
not
was it?
difficult.
What I want to ask you, because I'm thinking like how difficult it would have been for you to officiate, umpire, sorry, right? Given the history of West Indies cricket, and you're officiating and seeing the kind of defeats and the kind of cricket. I mean, did that affect you any at all? How do you take your emotions? You when you go back to the Clive Lloyds and the Viv Richards and the early days of Courtney Ambrose and the Malcolm Marshall and all of these guys, and you're officiating now and you see us getting bowling out for you, we losing to Kenya and we look like, I mean, how were you able to to still maintain your professional decorum and not up there shaking it and say, I can't believe I'm a good old West Indies team. This.
Put it this way: if you're a professional, then you have to act that way. And if I am a spectator, I mean, I am going to be a spectator. I go shout out sometimes, Yeah, man, I'm a spectator. When I am, when I'm the umpire, then I have to put away that part of Steve Bucknor. I have to put that away, put it one side, and now become as far as possible, as much as possible, that professional that I am supposed to be like. So it is not difficult. It's not difficult to put them away, but then these things do happen when you're a professional here, you see a team losing down there, but I can't do anything to help them.
Okay. All right. So the other
Definitely
question,
can't do anything to them.
tell me some of your biggest moments as a cricket umpire. Like the thing that like these are the five things that are etched in my mind as it relates to umpiring cricket games.
The first of them would have been World Cup final 1992 in Australia. That started it off because in going to Australia, I would have considered myself as a junior umpire in the Caribbean. I was a person just coming onto the scene, only doing 4 test matches and 3 ODIs when I went to the World Cup. 3 ODIs and 4 test matches. So when I went there, I was the least experienced umpire of the lot. But I gave myself just one job. I said, get to the semifinal, be one of the 6 umpires in the semifinal, and I would have been satisfied with that. And the 6 umpires, meaning that in each game you had 3 umpires, 2 on the field and 1 reserve. And I said, if I am one of the reserve, I'd be happy with that. But as time went on, there was someone in the office who says, Bucknor, doing well, good report, good report, good report, doing well, just keep it that way. And when I went down to New Zealand, the first game that New Zealand lost was against Pakistan. And when that happened, I was told, stay in New Zealand and do semi-final Pakistan against New Zealand again. And when that was over, I was another telephone call. I know that you have a program in Jamaica and you call that program to give them certain information. Well, please don't say anything. You are going to do the final. I said, hold on, man. You can't be serious. I'm sorry, I mean you're not serious. You're performing better than everybody else. So you have
Whoa.
to do the final.
That's Pakistan
So
versus
that was my England.
England. Yes, yes.
So that would have been my biggest moment. Pakistan versus England in that final played in Melbourne, Australia.
And
And
this is
from there, it was a matter of counting. I said, okay, I want to get to the next final. How can I get to the next final? Hard work. And it went on and on and on till after 3 years, I hold on, the Dickie Bird did 3 finals, but they were in England. Now, I can be the so-called neutral umpire who can break that. And once I got to number 4 in South Africa, I said, well, time is coming, but West Indies will be next. So the 5th final in the West Indies would have been that big mark that I thought I achieved. And I was very happy for that, getting to 5 finals. And these are 5 finals in a row. And it
okay.
is
So
going to be difficult to get
92,
there for anybody else.
92, 96, 2000,
No,
2004.
99, 99, 99.
Right, 99, then 2003, 2007.
Yes, 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 yes.
Right. Okay. So I mean, which five countries? So you did one in the West Indies, one in Australia.
2007 in the West Indies, 2003 in South Africa, 99 England, 96 will be in Pakistan, and 92 Australia.
The one in Pakistan was the Pakistan versus India game.
No, 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 no. It was it was Sri Lanka.
Okay.
It was Sri Lanka against Australia, and
In
this
that.
is when
Yeah.
there was the introduction of the first 15 overs, and the Sri Lankan batsmen were told to get us to 70 runs in 15 overs because there were two restrictions then. We had to have two fielders who were standing up, not walking in. And you could only have two outside the circle. And Jaya Surya and the wicketkeeper, Kalu Witarana, they did everything to get quick runs, and they were getting quick runs because they're hitting a lot of balls in the air, but there was nobody to catch them because it was a third man and a
Yeah.
deep fine leg on the
I remember.
boundary, and they were hitting the balls in the air.
Yeah.
So that made a difference to the one day cricket, where you had what you call pinch hitters coming very high in the order to hit over the top in the first set of restricted overs. And it is continuing in today's cricket. The pinch hitters are always there. It's just that we have regular opening batsmen who hit the ball in the air and score quickly.
Yeah. Is there anything in terms of the cricket you'd have loved to have accomplished as an umpire, or that you never got to do? That looking back, you said, "Man, if I just had the opportunity to do that, it'd have been so good." But it just
T20 cricket.
you'd have loved it.
T20 cricket.
What about
Yes.
it? Would have excited just
I was leaving the scene in 2009, and T20 cricket was just coming in. And this wasn't the IPL. It was a rebel league in India. So when I was going out, T20 was coming in. So I have never done an international T20 game. And that is what I am. Well, I can't say I'm not happy because I'm happy with where I have been. But I would have loved to do international T20.
okay. Okay. They're gonna have a lot of cricket questions. Duclan Sinner says, who does he rate as the best bowler and batter he has been while umpiring? Are you don't get you don't get the
No, and
opportunity to.
I will answer all those questions, sir.
All right, go
The
ahead.
best batsman, threefold. Vivian Richards, the best destroyer of any bowling. Brian Lara is the best that the eyes will ever behold on a cricket field. And Sachin Tendulkar is an accumulator of runs, number one accumulator in the world. So my best batsman, put all three together.
Viv, Lara, and Sachin.
Yes, put all three together. I am not separating them, Different categories, but in each category, they are the champions. And my
Oh,
best, the bowler that I have umpired is Shane Warne, best bowler.
whoa, Shane won.
Shane
Whoa.
Warne.
No Ambrose, no Walsh, no Mullicheran.
No,
Shane
you
won.
asked me about the best, and I am telling you the best that I have umpired.
Okay, okay. Which of the teams have been like? I mean, they give it the hardest time when they umpiring. Just how they do the cricket. Always putting pressure on the umpire, sledging batsmen, and cracking up things in them
Well,
pocket. It sound like there's an edge and all of them.
put it this way: the Indians appeal the most. They appeal the most,
I
and then
didn't know.
yes, the Indians appeal the most, and then the Bangladeshi came after, and they would appeal for almost everything.
Whoa! If you know that if somebody
Difficult.
go ahead.
Yes. Now, the Australians are the ones who would be sledging, but you never hear what they are saying. You know that they are talking, and if you believe that the batsman is not happy, you kindly say, I'm sorry, but he doesn't want to hear what you are saying. So cool. And there's no talking back to me. If I say that, I am saying, hold on there. I am telling you something, I'm not asking any question. You know, I say, you cool. If not, you get in trouble.
Okay.
Argument finished there, so.
Oh, okay. So you were one of those very strict, 20 umpire, no butter.
Well, I I was grown at school. Back talk was not apartheid. Me have the children here, so back talk is not apartheid. We don't deal with them something there. Therefore, and I was a tough referee before becoming a tough umpire. I was only seeing Sang Yu umpire and say, hold on a man. I didn't know that umpires could be that tough on the field. He gave a fellow out, and the fellow did not want to leave and said, get off the field. I said, hold on there. I don't believe that. I don't believe the umpires will be that tough. I said, no, it is necessary to be that tough. And then again, if you think about cricket, you're thinking about those persons who started you off in cricket. Well, starting you meaning the game, the English. And these were the white people. Now, I am a black umpire. I have nothing against white. I have nothing against brown, pink, black. But I am still the black person and he's still the white person. So I have to hold my corners, but he's going to have to behave himself on my field. As simple as that. I am not going to go in his face and say, I said, no, sir, I'm in charge out for the time being. So you're going to have to play by certain rules. And if you can't play by certain rules, you're going to get in trouble. I'm not going to bet you, so you're going to get in trouble because if I report to the referee said, oh man, no man. When Mr. Bucknor says something, he's always truthful. Argument finished. Therefore, you're in big trouble. And if I have to report you, half of your salary gone, your whole match fee gone, you could be suspended. Therefore, people leave me alone. As simple as that. So, order on the field was not difficult where I was concerned.
Okay. See someone asking Mark Ledford. See Mark Ledford, skipper, says, were you able to umpire while Malcolm Marshall was playing for West Indies?
In the latter days of Malcolm Marshall, yes. Because I think he went down to 92 World Cup and that was the last of him. So I had him before that. But not too many times because I started umpiring test cricket in 1989. So it's 89, 90, 2 games in 91. So I didn't do much with Malcolm Marshall, but he would be one of the better fast bowlers that I would have seen. But because I saw more of Ambrose, I go have to rate Ambrose. No, Shane Warne is my number one bowler.
Okay.
My number one bowler is Shane Warne. Not spinner, number one bowler.
Okay.
Bar none.
Okay. You must have enjoyed Shane Warne going up against Brian Lara. Your favorite
I would not have seen him. I would not have seen him. Remember that?
Oh, anyways,
it is only one day cricket that I would have had any opportunity, and it would have been an Australia tour in the Caribbean. So I would not have seen much of Lara and Shane Warne.
But Sachin and Shane Warne, you'd have seen.
Well, yes. Sachin and Shane Warne, I would have seen a lot of them. A lot of it. But it is reported that the best of Sachin against Shane Warne would have been in India, where he was in the middle of the pitch waiting to hit him over the moon. And they were very aggressive against Shane Warne because if he starts pitching that ball, it is going to be difficult for batting. So they were very aggressive. They got to him very early, and that is what they thought would have been the best way to play him. Knock him about the place, get him out of the attack, so you could get the other bowlers. And if you, I wouldn't say the lesser bowlers, but the bowlers who were not as difficult to play against.
Okay, I see here. Devon Prince Gabby. How about Patrick Patterson? How quick was he? You didn't umpire a lot with Patrick Patterson.
It is only first class cricket. Only first class cricket when he played for Jamaica. He was off the test scene when I came on.
Man, yeah. Yeah, man. But what are some of the?
No,
Go ahead. Have you ever like? I know that there have been some decisions. One thing with umpiring is that you make a decision, the person is out, and that is it. But have you ever made any decision when you look back? Man, that was a poor decision because they never had the what they call it, they have no the reviews. They never had the reviews for most of your time. There was no review. I don't know
yes.
if there was even any during your time. So once someone is out, he's out. Have you ever made any of those decisions? Just like in refereeing, you may have given a penalty only to find out that the man dive. Have you ever made any of those and in retrospect you look and you felt like, oh my God, that was a bad one, and like went back to the player and said, listen, man, I apologize, that was a bad decision, or you just never really, do that kind of a thing. It's just a bad decision. It's just a bad decision.
I gave Shane one out leg before in Australia, and it was a poor decision. And I realized that. And until this day, the Indians still have me up. Some of the Indians, every Indian I talk to say, "Oh, I remember Shane one." Even somebody who in name Barnett. Yeah, man, you remember Shane? How you know about Shane? My father told me. I said, "Jeez." So that's the first thing you hear about me. I gave Shane one out. Sorry, not Shane. I gave Sachin out when he wasn't out. Yes, it was a poor decision, and you regret it. Yeah,
Oh, it was.
definitely regret it. But
I always hear about that. I hear about that. That you give and I always say that. Was it that the man was not out, or was it that they didn't want him to be given out? But yeah,
no, it
but
was a poor decision. That's a
so but
poor decision. It was a decision not made in haste, but it was the wrong decision. And may I have to just hold on to that and say, yes, sorry, but
okay,
what can
but
I
it
do? I mean,
didn't.
it's not like today where you have reviews and then you can go back and the decision be taken back. And then you can go to your bed tonight and say, yes, I made a mistake, but the mistake did not cost the boss man anything. Those days you have to go sleep on it, and say, boy, I make a bad decision. But, it makes a difference now. Big difference.
Like I always thought about that, like, do umpires go back to the players and say, listen, I made a mistake. And are you just take it to yourself and just leave it alone? Because maybe if you go to them, it becomes a bigger issue. I don't know how do people handle those things? You make a bad decision. Do you go to the player probably years after and apologize, or you just let bygones be bygones? Just
Well,
like you
it
said,
works both ways. It
oh,
works both ways. Sometimes say, boy, tough one, son, tough one. In other
yeah.
words, it is not something that you want to do, but you may just say it to the person because think about it. If you're traveling, sometimes both teams are in the same hotel and the umpires. And when
Okay.
you go breakfast, who you say at breakfast, the man you gave out yesterday. And you may utter word, say, sorry, boy, tough one, made a mistake. And you leave it there. So you may do it, not that you have to do it,
You have to do it. Okay.
you know.
Okay. So which part of your career you enjoy the most? The footballing part or the umpiring part?
Enjoy the part named Steve Bucknor, sir.
What
Enjoy the part named Steve Bucknor. In
the
other
father
words,
and the husband?
it is not cricket or football, but I may have many children. I took it and grandchildren. Thank you. And I say it is hard work. If I do well, I will carry on more money. I will get another contract next year. Therefore, I have to work for them. That is how I
Yeah.
look at it. So it is me and not cricket and football because I did football not too many years. I spent as an international referee, but I spent some time there. But the cricket was for a longer time, and then you could go on and into your 60s as far as you believe is necessary. So I told myself that if I am doing well, my family going to be okay. If I'm not doing well, I can't say tough luck on the family. I can't say that. Therefore, it is a matter of me trying my best to do well all the time. And if and when it happens, mistakes are made, you try and put it behind you as quickly as possible. Just to say that I remember doing a game in India, and within the first hour, I made a mistake. First
Oh,
hour. And at the end of the game, Azharuddin was the captain, and Azharuddin said his report was excellent, very excellent umpiring, even though he made a mistake.
nice. That's good.
Even though he made a mistake, he said very excellent umpiring. Now, that is something that one would want to hear.
Yeah.
Instead of making one mistake out of 80 appeals and you're crucified for the one mistake. You know, I remember a youngster from in the Bronx. He told me that, see here, I have 15 mistakes, you know. You make 15 mistakes. And I say, what? Him say, yeah, man, see to my phone here. You make 15 mistakes.
Really?
Therefore, you can't be a good umpire. So I say, okay. I say, son, I spent 20 years as an international umpire. 20 years. And you find 15 mistakes. So
That's less,
you,
that's
you,
less than
you're
one
not
on
even
here.
averaging a mistake a year, you know.
Yeah.
I'm say I did 128 test matches and you only find 15 mistakes. So what is your point? We do 5 World Cup finals. What is your point? 15 mistakes, fine. I agree, 15 mistakes. But what is your point now? You're judging me off 15 mistakes, but when I get 99%, that is not good enough. It is the 1% that is wrong. And that's the way you're judging me off. I'm
You,
saying,
you know what?
sorry.
Here's
I
what
won't
I'm
say
glad.
anything more to you. I'm
Here's what
sorry?
I'm glad about, right? And I always, every time I hear about Steve Bucknor, people always talk about this India thing, and I always say to them, you know what my one thing is? Every time you talk about it, you said, you remember the mistake that he made? I'm saying that that is the good thing. You call it a mistake because we are prone to mistake. I am glad that nothing else has been ascribed to you in terms of your officiating, umpiring cricket, because other umpires have been charged for all kind of things. Here's what they can say: you made some mistake because there were obvious mistakes. And I'm saying, like when that youngster came up, you should have shook his hand and said, "Listen, man, I'm glad that all I can be accused of in 20 years is making 15 mistakes." Because other people have been accused of way worse. These are mistakes and we're all prone to them. And that's the big thing. At the end of the day, I'd rather people call me and say, listen, hey, Mr. Ref, you made 15 mistakes, in your last 20 games, than say I intentionally tried to rob a team.
Of course.
Even
Of
in that,
course.
it is commendable that after 20 years, over 500 innings of cricket in test at the international level, all that can be found about your impeccable character is that as human you erred 15 times.
And I can say that I erred. I am not going to try to defend it. I made a mistake. And we have to just live with it. I have to live with it. I heard a commentator say, oh, these are 18 mistakes in one game from two umpires. What is this? 18 mistakes from both
Yeah.
umpires in one game. And you say 15 in a 20 years. You know, I am not
Yeah.
going to be pat myself on my shoulder. You understand? But umpiring is at the highest level. It is not as easy as those persons who sit in their living room and watch television. It's not as easy as that. It is
Okay.
a lot more difficult. You have to concentrate. You have to see what is happening. You have to know what is happening. And you have to be fear at all times. At all times, you have to be fear. Shane Warne would appeal and he's on his knees with his arm hands clasped. How is that? And I said, not out. And he's walking by and said, excellent decision. Excellent decision. It was going down leg. And I said, hold on there. When you the spectator, when you're watching that, you say, hold on a man, then if he's appealing, it must be out. But when passing the umpire, passing me, say, excellent decision, that is going down leg. So can you imagine? Because when the spectator see that, he's now saying, Shane Warne is experienced. If he appeals, it must be out. But he
But
doesn't hear when Shane Warne said to me, excellent decision.
and if he's
One of these
appealing like
things.
that, if he's appealing like that as well, that's the other thing. You know,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
that is the impression that he gives others, that he's on his knees, therefore it must be out.
Yes, yes.
You
All
know,
right.
so one of these things, and I am not going to complain about that because cricket is a tough game, very tough game. And test matches are very, very, very tough games. And sometimes the conditions make it even more difficult because you have to be out there watching to see if people are cheating because people cheat, People cheat out there. People try things, tricks, and you, the umpire, must see and do what is necessary and forget about the repercussion. That is not my business. If I see you doing, I say, sorry, but you should not be doing that out there now. It's not my business how you feel, I am saying to you that I don't want to have this happening anymore. And you know that there are some people you get bad reports from them because I am interfering in their skullduggery. Not my business. I am doing what I think is correct. And I know that in the end, my reward is there. Yeah, man, my reward is there because if I do good,
Good is
something will come later on. Not necessarily today or tomorrow, but something happen will come later on. Because it is better to say that this man is a fair umpire, he's a fair person, than to say that, well, we got a few from him, and we're happy for that. But it did not have to happen.
yeah. I see. Let me just run through some of the comments because we've gone 2 hours again. So I'm gonna have to leave you because next thing, Gabby see the calls coming in next time and she disconnect it and say, no, not this long interview again. So let me let sure you so you can spend some time with the family on this Sunday evening. But Tara Thompson is asking about you getting does the government of Jamaica recognize Steve yet by honoring him with OD? I think you have an OD and an OJ, right? The Order of Jamaica and the Order of
Yes,
Distinction. Right. So he has both
yes,
of them.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes. And then Mark Ledford. Also Lee Croft Letman greeted you earlier. There were so many comments coming in, right? So I didn't get all of them. But Mark Ledford said
Okay.
there was always a delay period before raising that finger. What was the thought process before deciding?
Replays. The replays that you sit in your living room and watch, the same replays I play in my head. And I ask myself all the questions, and then I will answer them by saying not out or by raising the finger. So it is a matter of having replays. And I make a decision when I'm satisfied. Not when others want me to make it, but when I am satisfied that I have a decision to make. And sometimes the decisions are so difficult, but you will get some of them correct.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna give away before we take Garnet Denton's comment. We're gonna give away $500 credit, right, to whatever service provider you use. You have to answer this question, right? So the first person to put this in the comment section will be the winner. All right, here's a question: How many Cricket World Cup Finals has Mr. Steve Bucknor umpired in, and which countries did he do them? Here you go. All right. So the first person to answer that gets $500 credit. Right now. All right. See, look at these people are waiting on the thing to come in. See, other stuff start coming in already. You have to put, you can't put part of the answer. You have to put all the answer. All right. So the first person with both answers, the amount and the places. All right. All right. So waiting on those answers. You want to take on Garnet Denton? I'm not going to answer anything until I see the answer. Mr. Porter, you're in Canada. We send in Digicel or Flow. As long as they can use Digicel or Flow, you can answer, right? Anything not doing no Verizon, nor no T-Mobile, nor none of those things. I don't think you can do that. It's either Digicel or Flow. All right, so go ahead and jump in the answer. Family, you can answer as well, you know. Our friends, anybody can answer. But waiting on the answers to come in. Um, Garnet Denton says, what kind of disciplinary action can be taken against a player on the field, batsman or fielder? Would they be allowed to finish the game? Then you write your report.
Yes, that is what is done. At the end of it, you could write the report at the end of a day's play, but the report is generally written at the end of the game, and there's a match referee in cricket, and he's a person who, if there's a case, then there will be a trial, and he could lose his match fee 10%, 50%, 100%. He can be suspended for one ODI, three ODIs, a test match. It all depends on the nature of the offense.
Okay. I see somebody with an answer here. He says South Africa, Australia, West Indies, England, and India. Are those correct, Mr. Butner?
No, sir. If it's a finals, one of them is wrong.
One is wrong. There you go. So one is wrong. It's the finals, you know, because he did
Yes.
five consecutive. Oh, Jesus said five. So you know it's five. So it's five consecutive finals. So come on, people, you need to answer it. He did call them, you know, and I asked him again, and he said them again. So you need to put in the answer. So one of that is wrong, Robert. So let's see who is going to get this one correct. And then, Mr. B, whatever ever became of one of your young protege, we used to call him Indian umpiring in St. James.
He's in the United States now, and he's not umpiring anymore. He has
Okay.
left umpiring.
Okay. All right. This person says Australia, West. This is four answers, man. I don't even putting up that, man. That's four names. Come on, people. The show so finished, you know. You, you know, so you need to do this. All right. Quickly. How do you balance umpire and coach in SEBA once in the 90s? I think you had mentioned in the first that's why you ended up the change up the game on you. I remember you shared
Yeah.
that because you had an umpire thing. Yeah. What go ahead and share again.
It was difficult, because to coach an adult team, you have to be there every day. You have to be there every day. And the team was in a transition mode because when I went there as a coach, I saw a few things that I wasn't very happy with, and I had them change. And once I left for India, things went back to what they were, before I went there. So it is difficult not to be there to coach. Whether adults or kids, it's difficult not to be there. If you have to break ties, then things are going to be changed. And when things change, you can come back from your tour and then change it again. So it's difficult to balance the coaching and that aspect, because I would have been in West Indies most time during the summer. So I spent a good amount of time between July, August, and then by October I am out, maybe 4 or 5 weeks. So wherever I'm coaching,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, I would have been coaching without a salary because you can't employ me. Meaning, I am not going to be there. Therefore, if you employ me, you have to pay me. You can't pay me, we're saying absentia. You can't pay me then. So I was saying, I will come do it for you. Don't bother pay me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Can you tell me if this is wrong? This is Robert again saying South Africa, Australia, England, West Indies, Pakistan. That is
If,
correct.
if you count five, that is correct.
Right. One, two,
Not the
three.
order. Not the
Not the.
order, but
I
those are
should.
the
I,
five.
I should let them do order.
No, no, no. I am not saying that. I am not saying that. I'm only saying that those five will be correct.
All right. So
First,
Robert.
Australia 92.
Yeah.
Second, Pakistan 96. Third, England 99. Then South Africa 03. West Indies 07.
All right. So there you go. So Robert, you are the winner. So you let us know what number to send the credit to, and we will send it to you as soon as we get that number. You know the number. You just WhatsApp the number for the channel, and then we will send the credit to you right away. All right. Um. Oh, people, I, I I don't know what I'm. Robert said, give the prize to someone else. Oh Lord. So how do I do this now? I don't know. Who am I going to? Who am I going to give it to? Who is Cardell? Let me see if Cardell get. No, Cardell getting it wrong, man. Robert says to give the prize to somebody else. Who do I give it to? I don't know who to give it to, Robert. So let me put the number. Here is the number. So I suspect the person who texts their number to this number. Oh, any female in the chat. Robert said, if you're a female in the chat, you get the credit. And listen, make sure you're a female. Don't try don't try and trick me. All right. So just text the number to 876, send a WhatsApp message to 876-373-6449, and also tell us what your service provider is. And once you do that, we will send you the credit. But thank you so much, Robert, because Robert is in the United States. Um, oh, there's ask another question. No, I can't do that. But,
50 minutes ago.
yeah, all right. So please, just send a WhatsApp message to that number, and we will send the credit to you. All right. We are going to know. I mean, Mr. Button, I want to thank you again for coming on for our next 2 hours. Thanks to your family for, facilitating this interview. Again, I know you had a long day today over by Jarrett Park there with the cricket game, so it's good to have you on. You hearing me?
They're very faint, very faint. I don't know what is happening.
Maybe you got a call or something. So I think if you hit the speaker button a couple of times, I don't know. But let me let you just take the time to. I was telling you thank you, but just take the time to close off and just probably thank everyone on the stream, and if there are any persons that you want to big up as the interview closes, you can go ahead and do that, and then I'll wrap up after you.
My grandchildren must be watching. They usually do. They usually do. And for the daughter that made this possible for me, thank you very
I don't know. All right, wonderful. But the audio is not as clear. I don't know what happened to the phone, but the audio is not as clear. But I want to thank again. Like I said, I want to thank your family. Unless you want to you can sign out and sign back in a couple of minutes, like in 30 seconds, and then we just close it properly. You hearing me now? All right, so just sign out. Just sign out and sign back in quickly, and then let us close the video. All right, so we're gonna have Mr. Buckner come back on, and then we will close the video. But what an interesting time, this has been with Mr. Steve Buckner. Um, awesome time just talking to him about his journey in the sport. So many accomplishment. I don't think, I know he has the Order of Distinction and Order of Jamaica, but I don't know how many of us understand the magnitude of his achievement to be an international umpire. I think he's the only umpire to date who was officially umpired in 5 consecutive World Cup matches. You know, um, yeah. All right, we're back now. Yes. So,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So go ahead and just greet and thank all the persons. I know you were bringing up the grandkids, but go ahead and I know there's a lot of persons from Montego Bay as well watching. Probably persons from Cornwall College and the persons who you gave them out in the little league in the states like Demo and all that.
No, well, at least I'm happy for the viewers especially because a few calls came in and they were very worthwhile callers. Very, very worthwhile callers. In other words, don't agree with something because John Brown is saying it. But you should make your own point. Make your own point and hoping that your point is good enough. But then I would thank the callers tonight because they made a few valuable points. And let me say that if you don't agree with me, I don't have a problem with that. Don't have a problem with that because whatever I do, I am very unorthodox in my methods of doing things. And not many persons are going to enjoy my method first up. But maybe in the end, if what is done is good or what is done is correct, then I suppose we'd rather be happy with that than anything else. But I am thanking you, Manningsman, for the opportunity to speak to a few persons who wanted to hear from me and my views, especially on the football inside of this place, Jamaica, because it is just my opinion that we're not doing the correct thing. And I mean, I don't hold punches back, I throw punches. The JFF is not doing whatever is necessary to get the football going and to get football done properly. We're not doing it. And we can't expect to have a very good national team when we don't first sow a good base. So I'm happy to be able to say a few things that I wanted to get off my chest. And at the same time, happy to be on your program, sir. And if necessary, I don't know if you'd want to have me again, but I'm happy to be here talking to my own people. And for some of them who have not seen me in decades, in many, many years, and others who I would not have seen for a long time, like Mark Redford. We play cricket for St. James together. And I was his coach. I was his coach at football
At Cornwall,
in St.
right?
James.
In St.
No,
James,
no,
right?
not at Cornwall. He
You,
played
boy, yeah.
St. James B team, St. James second team he played for because I didn't play at Cornwall. He didn't
Right.
play the Costa Cup.
Yeah.
So I was there with him in cricket and in football. And happy to hear. And I know that Craigie Alexander is always around to say speed is important because that is what destroyed the Russians. And he's going to tell you that every day that if he couldn't sprint, we would not have won the Costa Cup in '83. So he bears what testimony
Yes.
to all the names that I have called here. All these persons have done well at champs. They come
Whoa.
back and play football. So it is wonderful to be here with you, sir. And if ever again you can give me a little bit of notice, give me a call, and I'll be happy to grace your screen to be in your presence. And thank you very much for the occasion.
Listen, I want to thank you so much. You don't know how privileged I feel, right? Because you don't remember, and I remember when I used to come to Cornwall, big old stall, little youth playing, and I mean, I should have gotten a little red card back in those days, but you say, Lord, look, come on, because I was not a yellow. So, but always admire you, and I think like sometimes for me, and I know you have been recognized by the government, which is good, but I still believe like Montego Bay has not yet fully comprehended the magnitude of your global achievement. I've seen people get keys to city. You should get the keys to St. James. Not
No,
not
no, I
this
have the key. I have two keys. Two keys.
not not
I
not
have
not
two keys.
to the city, to the entire parish.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. No, I don't have that one.
That that I don't think there will be and there has been a bigger name in St. James. I'm going to say to the Montego Bay, I think the cricket club or boys club that operate Jarrett Park, that Jarrett Park need to be fixed and it need to be called the Steve Bucknors Jarrett Park. Government need to see to it that it is maintained and developed in honor of your achievement. Because when you're gone, the OD and all of those things, but your name should live on in Montego Bay because of all your achievement. And I don't say that lightly. I think it is time that we begin to go into our cities and see the names. That when our son, that your grandkids and your great great grand, 20, 30, 40 years from now, when they go in Montego Bay and somebody says, who is that person? They can tell them about your work in cricket and in football, that you have made Jamaica a global brand. I don't know if people realize that no other West Indian umpire has even come close to what you have done. I don't so this is not just a Jamaica thing. This is Caribbean. In the entire Caribbean, no umpire in the Caribbean has even done 2 World Cup finals, much as 5. And so I want to thank you and your wonderful family. I mean, I'm sorry that none of the daughters didn't take on cricket or football. I don't know. So what the baby video? I know they said no sport.
No, they were sent to the classroom. They
Oh,
were sent to the classroom.
I think she was saying that please don't encourage him. Please don't encourage him. Next thing you start taking the grandkids to the football field. But I will always call on you because your wealth of knowledge and the history that you have, I really appreciate that as well. And so thank you so much. And really appreciate your company today. Be in good health and please again greet your family, in particular your wife who I know she's in the States and you are here. So when you talk later, let her know that Pastor says hi again. And right. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will be in touch, Sir Buckner. All right. Bless you.
Thank you
Bless
very
you.
much for the occasion, sir.
Yeah, man. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have a
All right.
good day.
All right. There you go. There you go. People. Um, I love that. Class act, hero, great man, major achievements. I mean, it's such an honor and privilege to just hear from him. And isn't that awesome that someone who has achieved so much said, listen, I am glad that some of you disagreed with me. And look how he took it and look how what he said. Can we learn from that? That we can disagree and still hold each other in high esteem and with great respect. We should never get disrespectful. The great legendary Steve Buckner says, I am glad that some of you disagreed with me. That's how it's supposed to be. I want you to know that tomorrow morning we have a very special show at 7 a.m. We'll be talking with the president of the Jamaica Football Federation and Mr. Michael Ricketts. The time that we have available, we're trying to do it, but that is the time. If you're up, you can tune in and be a part of that. I still have $500 credit to send. I'm going to check to see if there are any messages yet, but we're going to try to see if there's a way that we can fulfill. I don't know. I see there's a Ophelia SB. So if somebody needs the credit, you remember there's a number you can send it and we'll work it out. Outside of that, we'll be in touch with Sir Sanchez. But thank you again. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to the platform, go ahead and do that now. And not only that, but you can also hit the like button. I want when Mr. Bucknor sits down to watch this over with his family that there are over 100 likes. So hit the like button, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. Want to also thank our sponsors, Tricknick. Tricknick is a Jamaican owned and operated company out of Canada, and they use authentic Jamaican herbs and spices to make all their products. And they're offering 25% discount on all their products. All you have to do to get that is shop at www.tricknick.ca and use the code I am sure sports 001. That's one word. I am sure sports 001, not 001, and you'll get that 25% discount. In fact, they have a recipe book that they are giving away, and all these pens and other stuff. If you buy Tricknick's products, it's like $63 to get a whole package from curry paste to hot pepper sauce, jerk marinade, barbecue sauce, recipe book, all of those things. Fantastic products. So go and check them out. Remember to shop at www.tricknick.ca. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave you with a couple of words from
Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.